The artwork for the JaianMusic Q&A series is provided by GoPro Keo. Please go follow him on Twitter at GoPro Keo. Hi guys, and welcome to a brand new episode of the JaianMusic Q&A series. Today we have a very special guest on with us.
That's me.
If you guys don't know who this person is, it's Ben. Ben, how's it going?
I'm doing good.
It's been a while.
Okay. Happy New Year. Let's get on with it.
Okay, so for you guys who don't know, Ben is actually the co-host I used to do Indecisive People Talk with, a podcast I ran on my channel for what, like a good year and a half?
Before I got tossed aside.
No, I decided to do more anime stuff.
Used to. Just used like I was.
No, yo.
Okay.
We still did a bunch of side anime podcasts together and stuff.
I just kid.
We're rehashing the Indecisive People Talk. Today's topic is going to be Sword Art Online, and we got a question from at ScottWolf14. What is the question, Ben?
So, how do you feel knowing this anime inaccurately depicted video games and natural human logic? Also, do you have a hatred for it?
Pretty good question from Scott. Very solid question, I find.
Thought about it.
Take it away, Ben. When you read this first question, I sent it to you so you can get a little bit ready. What was your first thoughts when this question came to your mind?
The first part is kind of wrong in a way. I just like considering it's a future video. I think the date on the first episode is something like 2017 or 2019.
Right.
Meaning at the time it came out, it was supposed to be this futuristic, like super cool video game stuff.
Yes.
So it's mostly fiction in this case.
Yeah.
Obviously anime is fiction, but like it has a lot of, I don't know, science fiction-ish kind of views.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. Depends on the series, some more than others, but they definitely dabble with science fiction. I agree with that.
Current video games don't at all resemble that, sadly. But it very accurately depicts video games as people want them to be.
For sure.
In the future, especially myself. I think that's what attracted a lot of people in the first place to this anime.
Yeah.
Definitely before the second season began, anyway.
Yeah. We should probably make the precision here. I have watched the entire first season of Sword Art Online. Absolutely loved it. I watched the first 4 episodes of the second season with the guns. What was the name again of it with the guns?
Gun Gale.
I've watched the first 4 episodes of Gun Gale, and then I put it aside. I could not watch it anymore. I thought it was just really bad. I just couldn't get into it, and it's unfortunate because I loved the first season so much. And Ben, you've watched both seasons entirely, right?
Yeah, it's been a while for the second one, but yeah.
And you rewatched the first one not too long ago.
Yeah, I was starting the other one.
Right. So, in terms for me, how I feel knowing that this anime inaccurately depicted video games, I don't think it did depict video games inaccurately. I found that it depicted what we all wanted a video game to be. Maybe you could say that it depicted the video games in the wrong way because video games are not that advanced yet, and we all want that type of video game where we can log into the world and really be our character and walk around, and it's really an open kind of world. I understand that sense, but it's supposed to be futuristic, so that's what I saw about it. And what did this other part of the question kind of throws me off? Natural human logic. How did it inaccurately depict that to you, Ben?
I don't know. Sometimes it's always following Kirito,
right,
for the plot and stuff. And
for sure.
A lot of the times his deductions are very counterintuitive.
Can you give me an example of that? It's been a while for me.
Yeah. Say at some point there's kind of a fake murder plot happening in the game where like some dude gets hung from a clock tower and like apparently dies in the main square of the town or whatever. Right. And they, Asuna and Kirito go off and try to figure that out. Right. And eventually he gets it, but like he never gets any clues really. He just ends up eventually figuring it out for most things in that actually, like later on too. No, I guess in Gun Gale Online, actually, it's a pretty obvious thing. He figures something out, another murder plot as usual. But
for the first season, would you say it's the same deal or not?
I don't think the people think as normal people would. No, I
I
do
don't.
think they go against natural human logic in many cases.
One thing that I'll always remember about the first season is Kirito's sister being in love with Kirito's character in Sword Art Online, and then she figures out that the character she really likes in Sword Art Online is actually Kirito's character. So there's like this incestuous like element that comes out of the anime.
Well, yes and no. She turns out to be just a cousin.
Oh, really?
Which, I mean, it's still family.
Well, yeah, no, it's still
makes
it's
a
still
difference.
incestuous. I haven't watched this anime in a really long time, guys. I just want to preface that. Also, do you have a hatred for it? Do you have hatred for it? I have hatred. Okay, I'm gonna go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I have nothing but love for the first season of Sword Art Online. I actually covered the one A Tender Feeling, the song from Sword Art Online. I love that soundtrack. But anyways, the first season was absolutely amazing, and I watched it and I finished it so quickly, and it was so much fun. I loved Kirito and Asuna's relationship and how they were like the perfect match together, and how like after that Asuna gets captured and Kirito does everything to rescue her and everything. And it was just a great anime. We come around to the second season, and it's all about guns. And then I just remember like this scene in the bar where a guy just randomly dies, and in the first few episodes, and
Yeah.
it made no sense to me. And I was like, you had such a great anime, great like storyline, great characters. Like you really built up and hyped out this really amazing plot in Sword Art Online 1. Because the season 1 has part 1 and part 2 to it, obviously.
Yeah.
Those two parts were super awesome in my mind, and when we hit when we hit season 2, I hated it. But I never hate anime. I'm usually a pretty like easily satisfied otaku, and it wasn't the case in this situation. I watched the second season, and I did not follow suit for me. What about you?
I don't really hate it. I love the concept and stuff, and I do actually like the anime, but I find it's kind of a letdown too.
The second season?
No, just overall.
Why is it a letdown?
Like,
overall?
I still love it, but like
Why overall?
a lot of the first season is mostly filler stuff. Like,
Really? I don't agree with that.
yeah, it follows a main plot, but like when you have 100 floors and there's like what? That's only for the first part too. Like there's 15 episodes or so for 100 floors. You see like maybe 6 floors total throughout the series for one thing. And like even when you do visit another floor, one of them he's living in a little cottage, so nothing happens. Then the other one is like, oh, I met a blacksmith, I met this person, met these people, they died, and then pretty much nothing. As a gamer, in my case, I would have liked even a few like farming scenes or something. Just like first episode, he shows the other guy the basics, Klein, then he's off. And then you see he's super strong on the next one. They beat a boss. And then it just goes on like that. He progresses. He's like level 80 at episode 7. You don't see anything happening. You don't see the progression of this character and of everyone else, actually.
Right.
I'm sure there would be a lot to see, a bunch of boss fights, because they do some pretty decent action scenes, actually.
They have some great action scenes,
Which
agree.
is partly why I kind of really liked season 2, even though they have Gun Gale Online in there and all that, because like he joins the game for some murder plot, but everything's action in there because he enters like a main contest or something, a main competition.
Right.
So it's like the number 1 played pro player scene in Japan or wherever it's happening in the game or in the anime. So yeah, he just joins that and beats the best people in the world and stuff, or whatever. I don't know. It's pretty cool.
Right.
I just like the action scenes a lot too, which are lacking elsewhere.
So you feel like what really, so overall the anime was a letdown for you because of all that filler, but the action scenes makes up for that.
No, I like the anime. It's just, it is a lot of filler. Like they could easily make 4 seasons with just like the first dungeon, castle, whatever.
Oh, they definitely could. I agree with that.
Like, and they should have, for real. Because like, how long did they spend in there? Like 4 years?
Oh, something.
2.
I forget.
2 to 4 years. I can't remember. But like, they were in there for a while. And you see that within like, maybe 150 minutes of
Anime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad.
No, I see what you mean. I definitely agree with that. But like for me, I kind of want to go back to the natural human. I kind of want to go back to the natural human logic aspect of the question, because maybe like pertaining to Sword Art Online, I could understand why. Sometimes it kind of jumps off the map, and you're like, "Why would a character do this?" And like any normal human being would not like think of doing this. But I feel like this is an anime, and if it really followed, normal tendencies and not be like jump off the map and go crazy and mess with your brain, then it would be boring. So I feel like yes, I think it needs to inaccurately depict natural human logic for it to be more entertaining. Because if it depicted like accurately human logic, it would be like, oh, I see that every day in my life. So what's happening right here?
Yeah, okay, I'm not gonna farm this monster. I'm just gonna go live in town for a while.
Right,
and maybe
right.
play some like alternative games within the game, like go play drop games if anyone knows
A little bit
MapleStory.
of Tetris on the side.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. People will just go fishing like that other dude and just
Right.
not do anything.
Right.
But people tend to also farm and be like the front lines in this case and whatever. Different kinds of people, different kinds of gamers.
No, for sure.
Especially with your life on the line.
Right.
I guess that makes no sense sometimes. It's like, okay, I'll go in and save these idiots or something. Just like, I would just ditch their asses.
Right. I had another question because we kind of answered a lot. I feel like we've answered Scott's question. Was there anything else you wanted to like touch about like Scott's question specifically you wanted to answer? Because
Not really.
I kind of want to take the time also to talk a little bit about Sword Art Online as the anime too, like as a whole. And I had like a 2 or 3 questions I want to like bring up to you and see what you.
Sure.
You thought. I want to know, what do you think about, obviously the main protagonists in the story are Asuna and Kirito. What do you think of the relationship and how it comes to be? And I didn't watch all of season 2, and I don't plan on finishing it. So maybe you can like also after that, we can talk more about like season 2 and how it's a colossal failure or not a colossal failure in your mind. But first of all, how did you feel about the relationship between Kirito and Asuna?
I feel it's really cute and stuff.
Yeah,
and like most anime and most books overall always have a bit of romance here and there, but like
it was a heavy romance with those two.
Yeah. I find there was again no development on that. It's like
How so?
How did it happen? Like first episode she's not there. Second episode it's like, okay, we have a boss fight. You want to party? Otherwise we're both like screwed.
Right.
Okay, sure. And then he makes some weird, supposedly cool like disappearance because he finished the boss and went like, haha, I'm a beater, let's go. And
right.
he just leaves. And then later on, suddenly she's in some big guild and they meet again and like pretty sure it's the Christmas scene or something, and she's his informant, and then like they share bread. It's like, okay, that's big relationship building there. And then later on,
huge relationship
later
building.
on it's like, I saved your life, you saved mine, okay, love you. I don't know. There wasn't much to it.
Right. Okay.
Still real cute though. I like it, but still.
It's a great anime to
if
romance,
you could see like the 60 other floors and how they helped each other throughout, that would be nice. But no.
Yeah. No, I could definitely see what you mean by that. Okay, and then I've only watched the first few episodes of season 2. Can you maybe like talk about season 2 and like kind of like briefly take us through the events and then why you liked the such and such and why this failed and what made it so good or so bad after all overall?
Oh, yeah. Actually, it wasn't too bad. Although, it's different world. Towards the end, they do go back to, I think it's called Einkrad, the big castle that was in Sword Art Online 1.
Right.
So they do end up going back there once they finish the whole GGO part. But basically, there's a murder plot where people apparently inside the game can kill people outside of it. So obviously, our hero is asked to go investigate, the little 16-year-old or whatever, asked to go investigate these murders and stuff, and he's asked to enter the big tournament in order to unmask our killer, or supposed killer. And so he goes in there, they figure it out a bit by bit, taking a lot of episodes, actually. But, like, turns out the dude in the game doing it is actually part of the murder guild from Sword Art Online.
Oh, okay.
The Laughing Coffin people.
So is it one of those like you find out at the end big twist kind of things?
Kind of. They figure it out in advance. It's just
okay.
Yeah. It's mostly about just like a bunch of flashbacks Kirito's case, he's like, okay, who is it? I know it's one of them now, but like, who is it? Because eventually, see something again that was left out of the main series of just Sword Art Online Season 1 is, what was it? Yeah, so they start showing scenes of how they went and formed a big expedition to actually destroy this guild.
Right.
And eventually got ambushed. And then, fought for their lives and stuff, lost a few people, but for the most part, except for 3 people they captured, they killed the rest of the guild.
Okay.
And so eventually he goes like, okay, it's one of those 3 guys. He knows this, but he doesn't know which one, so they can't go arrest him in real life.
It narrows it down, obviously.
Yeah, it narrows it down, but like, he has a bunch of flashbacks to that time when they like try to raid on these people, and instead of flashbacks, you could just show us like in the main series the organization behind it and stuff, and like how they go in and kill them, or like
right,
or like how they get their information leaked or whatever, because they also got ambushed by the people they were supposed to be. Anyway, I don't know. That's a scene that like instead of maybe 4 minutes of the same flashback over and over, they could have just made it almost an entire episode just for that kind of thing.
I see what you mean.
But yeah, so eventually, big hero teams up with the other one. I don't know if you've seen her, the female character in Gun Gale Online. The other one.
It's been a while. I remember like one fighting scene in the first few episodes where like this girl was like playing in a fight, and she was starting taking out like all these opponents one after another. But then there was like this one guy she couldn't take out, but at the end she manages to take him out. Like it was like super tough, and then she had to be like, there's this whole like complicated like shooting angle for her, and she's like, I never miss. I'm the best at shooting here, so I remember that whole thing.
Yeah. So they team up and eventually beat the guy, and
right.
Then he's out of the game and she's out of the game, because they're not trapped in there. They just go in willingly, right?
Right.
So they're safe. Okay, cool. But through figuring out how the guy kills, they realize that like if he shoots you in the game, and you die in real life, he has to have a partner with him killing you in real life. And so like he gets out and goes from the hospital to her place because she was the next target.
Okay.
And so saves her from someone who was supposed to be her childhood friend or some crap.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he was the second like guy.
Okay. I see how that goes connect. Okay, that actually sounds kind of cool though.
It's not bad actually. Like once you get past the whole like guns thing, because he doesn't really use one. He goes for a sword right away.
Should I give this anime a second shot, Ben?
Maybe, because if you like the first world, well, they have a mix of the 2 first worlds together. They bring Aincrad into this fairy world.
Right. How many episodes do you think it would take before it gets good again?
I don't know. It depends on if you would enjoy.
I got to 4 episodes and it dropped.
Yeah, I know. But did he have a sword yet?
No.
So it depends on whether or not
there were
you
no
like
swords
that.
In the vicinity within the first 4 episodes, as far as I can recall.
There's actually a lot of talking in it too.
There was like one episode. It was just they literally spoke the entire episode.
Yeah, I know. There's a bit more of that actually. So it's kind of
not friendship.
I'll give you like 4 or 5 episodes to watch, and that'll be the actual like full season, pretty much condensed. The half of the season where they're in Gun Gale Online.
Right. I came across this video. It was like a Sword Art Online season 2 in 8 minutes, and like the guy actually like just like edited the video so you don't have to watch. He's like, this is a really not so good anime, but I went through the pain of like going through all these and I put it all in one, and it was like I came across my feed. I didn't watch it. I was like, wow. Someone actually made that.
8 minutes, and I don't think you're actually missing anything in there.
Yeah, he's like, this is all that happens. The rest is like not important.
Yeah, it got very repetitive, actually.
No, I can imagine that. Another thing I wanted to talk about also, because talking about Sword Art Online made me think of this. I really feel like there's not enough animes out there that do the whole video game thing, where like there's a video game world attached to the anime, or the anime takes place in a video game world for the most part. The other one I watched that I really enjoyed that had this video game aspect to it was No Game No Life, which was if you liked the first season of Sword Art Online, I strongly recommend No Game No Life, guys. Go check that anime out. It's really good. 12 episodes, real fast, real good.
Oh, good. No, I didn't know it was that short.
It's that short, and it's really good.
I skimmed some anime and I found like 2 or 3 more, but they didn't seem that interesting either. I'm not sure. One
Right.
of them had potential, but I didn't. I only checked the first episode and got lazy. Never watched again. I don't know what it's called though. I forget.
Oh, would have been good to know. The other anime I plan on watching that has this game feel to it is Real Life. Apparently, Real Life is really good.
Yeah, I've heard. I think I remember one of them. Although it sounds like a weird plot, I read the description and it's like
If I understand correctly, it's like some guy who's in the video game world and he dies every time and he goes back to the beginning.
Oh, I don't know.
That's the way it was explained to me by a friend.
Okay.
And it looked kind of interesting.